do with electronics had been mossed over for my entire life as a human. So the more I dusted them off to pass my exams, I was like, you know what? I'm probably going to forget this stuff so quick. Why don't I take the extra as well, while I still remember even the lingo of diodes and this sort of thing?
Yes.
While I remember what a transistor actually is, So that's
Yeah. I have my general license. I actually got my license because of a friend that I was driving truck with them, driving semis. And yeah, they put a Yaesu 857D in the truck and said, you touch the radio without a license, I throw you out of the truck.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, got to get my license. So I got my technician. And then in the course of 2 days, about 6 months later, I studied for my general using an app on my iPhone that I had. I just kept going through the questions over and over again, and making notes of keywords that were indicators in the question of what the answer is. And in 2 days and very little sleep, I went to Terre Haute Hamfest and actually got my general license upgrade.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's awesome.
So,
I love
um,
that you drove a semi.
yes.
I mean, that's the coolest thing, right?
Well,
That's
especially when the weight station in Wyoming pulls you in and it's 22 degrees out, 22 degrees below zero, and they're asking you if you have your driver's license with you, and that's all they wanted. It's like, you made me pull over and get out of my nice warm truck for this?
so.
At least do an inspection or something.
So Jeremiah, this totally fascinates me because I didn't know you drove semis. So, did you like have the little sleepy cab in there where you have your own
Yes.
little nook? I mean, come on, everyone in the chat here, how cool is that? He had a semi and a nook where he could sleep. That's
I also
awesome.
had a miniature dachshund on the truck with me,
Oh, this just keeps
and
getting better. We
his
need to
name was
change the
Miles.
name.
When I got him, his name was Donut, but I changed it because of 3 reasons, and you
Miles.
may know this. But 1, he was going to be traveling a lot of miles with me. 2, he I liked the character Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog, and his first name was actually Miles, not
Okay.
Tails.
Okay.
And 3, and probably the most important reason for me, was if he ever got off the leash and I had to chase him across the parking lot, I was not yelling, "Here, Donut, come here, Donut," and somebody recording video of me doing that.
Yes, I think that's very crucial not to be outed with a dachshund named Donut. So I'm glad you saw the light on that one. I love your background, by the way. It's very matrixy and cool looking.
Yes, we have to thank Boston for making these for us. Boston is one of our marketing people, and he is awesome.
Nice.
We have a lot of people that work at BridgeCom and do a lot to facilitate being able to help all of the customers.
Yeah.
So, and I know you've talked to a few of them.
Yes, especially, I mean, I have, but you the most. I just have to say hello to some of these people in the chat. Hello, Nashville. I love Nashville with the music. Isaac is in on the Peterbilt trucks. Jerry Watts. I wonder if that's his real name. That's a good name, Mr. Watts. We've got Robert drove a truck. I love all of these. Hearty. Hello, everybody. Daniel, Douglas, Clint. Whoa, look at this. I'm not used to doing because I go live on TikTok. Every Sunday, I try and go live at 4 p.m. Pacific on TikTok. So I have the chat, and it's my favorite thing, getting the people all over the world, So I'm sure we have some people. I don't know, though. Maybe maybe YouTube has an algorithm where everybody's from the United States in here. I'm not sure.
We've actually got some people from the Philippines that are in here right now, too.
Fabulous.
They
Ahoy,
said it was like 3 or 4
Philippines.
o'clock in the morning. So,
Well, welcome. And thanks for joining us. So, Daniel, here's the thing. Daniel asked a key question. So I do music as well, but I have to use an alias because my real name is Natalie Gray. Unbelievably, and I'm from Britain, and you can't really see in the light, but my hair's kind of pink. Unbelievably, there is already a pretty successful singer-songwriter named Natalie Gray from the UK, and she has pink hair. So I cannot use my real name. So my songwriting alias is Blue Brio. So on Instagram and TikTok, it's Blue Brio Music. So if you look up my real name, none of that music is mine. None of that is mine. So there you go. Some Daniel just commented. So I'm clarifying that
Okay.
now. Because everybody's going to be Googling the other Natalie Gray and listening to her music.
All right. If you want, over on the right side of the screen
Yeah.
where the chat box is,
Yeah.
you can actually type the links for your Instagram and your TikTok in there if you like.
Let's have a look. So connect. Oh, it's making me connect with like a Google account. Does that make sense? Probably.
No. Go ahead and text it to me, and I'll put it into the chat for you.
Okay. Yeah. As soon as I click join chat, it's bringing up all of the Google stuff and wanting to verify who I am and all that jazz. So I will text it to you. So I'll do it right now. It's very easy. Blue Brio Music. It's the same on Instagram and TikTok. There you go. I've just sent that to you, Jeremiah. Thank you.
All right. And luckily, I actually have an app on my computer that lets me get my text messages from my phone. So I can just copy it from the computer so I don't have to retype it.
I realized as well, it let me do a private chat to you. So I wonder why it didn't let me comment. Because I already private chatted you. So, but anyway, look what I have in my hands.
The Anytone 878 UV2
How
Plus.
many people have one of these puppies with the nice flashy screen? This nice meaty radio. So
Yes.
I want to give you a free plug there.
Thank you. So I've got to ask, what is your, out of all of your radios, what is your favorite DMR radio, and what is your favorite HF radio?
Okay, great question. So yours, this one is my only DMR because once I got this, I felt no need to get any other DMR radio. To me, this is such a great one to get if you want to do DMR. And then HF, I have, let's see if you can see here. I've got the ICOM 7610 and then I've got the ICOM 705. And then I also have the ICOM 7300. You can't really see this. Let me twizzle my camera a bit. There we go. You can see the 705 and the 7610. And I also have the 7300. And if I'm totally truthful, my super favorite is the 705 because it is so cute and portable. I love things that are portable, right? That you can travel with, that you can take in a vehicle. And I mean, right now I have it hooked up to my drain pipe. And any radio that is super great with a drain pipe, I have the HOA Buster from Alpha Antenna, and it's just a nice combination. I mean, it's just, let me just dial into something. I love the audio. Hold on. Let's get a bit of audio here. The hum is probably from the mic.
Yeah, no, we just had a lot of noise here, and anyway.
And I'm pretty sure that noise you hear is feedback from the fact that I have a mic right next to it. But the audio is really nice, and I just love that it's so small. This one is fun though. The 7610 for HF is fun because you can monitor multiple bands. So I can have like 40 meters and then I can have 20 meters and see the activity on both of them. And it has DVI out. So right behind me, you can see the output of the 7610. But I certainly don't tell people like who are new to ham, go out and get this $3,000 radio, you know. But I kind of do tell them to get the 705 because to me, it's so much fun. And I feel like it's a radio you can have for life. Like for DMR, I don't see I would ever need another radio other than this one. And so I'm very happy with my HF705. Next question, Jeremiah.
All right. Next question is, what is probably the most exciting thing you have done on ham radio so far?
Well, it's always exciting when you talk to people far away. For me, at least, anyway. That is my favorite thing: is connecting with people thousands of miles away. And for example, on a TikTok live a few weeks ago, I had one of my ICOM HF radios hooked up on 100 watts, and within the live from Los Angeles, where I'm based, I spoke to Russia, Japan, and Brazil. And that was quite mind blowing to me. I hadn't had that, like, you know, little run like that before. Normally, I'm on 40 meters or 20 meters, and that was a different band. And I can't remember if it was 6 meters or 10 meters. You might know. It's
Possibly 10 meters if it was during the day.
Oh, wait a minute. It was the 28 megahertz.
That's 10 meters.
Okay, great. Yeah. That was so I'm not normally on that, but I'll definitely be noodling around there more now, because that to me was incredible. And then when I very first became a ham and got my first HF rig, which was the ICOM 7300, I went to Quartz Fest. And I have to say, for people who haven't heard of Quartz Fest, it's this incredible event. It's free. It's free. And you just have to get yourself there. Like, basically, there's no expense other than you getting your own food, going there, whether you take a tent or you take an RV. It's completely off grid, 100% off grid for like about 7 or 8 days. And that for me was one of the best experiences of my life. There's loads of hams there to help you out. And I got on the ICOM 7300, and from the Arizona desert, it was all pitch dark, and I snuck off because I was new ham. Like, I was really new ham, and I had my little, let me just get one of these. I had my little mic, and I didn't want people to see me failing. So I snuck off when it was dark, and I had a little solar generator with a light. So I was literally lit by the light, and I was like, CQ, CQ, CQ in the dark, in the desert. And I didn't want anyone to know, in case I never got anyone to come back. And then eventually I got like somebody from Cuba, but it was super, super exciting. That was really, it gave me the real true essence of ham radio, which is, if you have nothing, no power, no phone, because there was no cell reception either, ham radio is going to be your best friend there.
Yes, like we saw last week or the week before with
Yep.
emergency communications having
Yep.
to go into effect because cell towers went down and some banks couldn't take and even process transactions because
Yeah.
they were relying on mobile networks to power the bank's network. And yeah, in an emergency, when cell phones fail and all else fails, ham radio is still going to work. DMR may not work in that situation, but analog will. And having a dual band radio that can do, or dual mode radio, excuse me, that can do DMR and analog, as long as you've got it set up for emergency situation, you're covered.
Yeah. Quick question, Jeremiah, and to everyone.
Yes.
Am I mirrored? Like, are you be able to see the numbers correctly, or am I backwards?
We can see the numbers correctly.
Oh, okay, great. That's so weird because I see them backwards.
Yes, there's actually a setting. If you click on settings down at the bottom.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Most important is that it's not all backwards for you guys, just so you're not looking at weird numbers. So that's fine.
Okay.
So,
so next question would be, what is one of the most exciting places that you have traveled for your job? Because I know we're talking, and you do multiple things, music and writing. So
Well,
stand-up comedy?
yeah, stand-up comedy, I did a ton of traveling, for a few years. I was a stand-up for a long time. I did, like, 8 countries and 11 United States, and I performed a lot actually for US troops, coming back from
Awesome.
Afghanistan, and it was really my honor to do that. I have, like, the utmost respect for, anyone serving in the military and first responders and all that. So while I was doing stand-up, though, I got to do a tour of Croatia, and that I also performed in Budapest and Malta, but Croatia was the most, even though you might not think of it as exotic, it's not like the Philippines or somewhere we think as like palm trees and exotic. But for me, it was like, wow, Croatia, that is cool. I have no idea what Croatia is like. And it was really fascinating to travel the country to many, many different cities. And after the show, the nice thing when you travel as a stand-up comedian is you can talk to the locals, and it just is the most mind-broadening thing. I have no fancy university education. Pretty much everything I do, I'm self-taught. I was an artist and a painter, and I'm self-taught in that, and mostly with music. But the biggest education is when you get to travel and talk to people around the world, which comes back to ham radio. You can, even if you're one of those people who doesn't like to travel, you can still talk to people all over the world with ham radio. And with your DMR radio, it's as easy as going to that talk group 91 and you're talking to people all over the world. So I would say Croatia was a pretty big deal for me to travel around Croatia, and I learned a lot. And often it makes you be very grateful for the country you live in. Wherever you go, everybody moans about their country. There's not one country I've been to where they're like, you know what? Our government is fantastic. Everybody's honorable and honest, and we trust them all. Everybody moans about their country. But when you see countries that have been through war, where they still have debris from war in their towns, and you talk to local people and they're like, well, we can't even start a new business as a young person because so much money is required to kind of go through the pipeline, if you know what I mean, to get permits and stuff. You think, wow, this is a really good country. I mean, I've lived for a long time in my life in 3 countries. Like it split the UK, Canada, and America. And these are great countries to live in. And I think it's very easy for people to forget what they have in a country, But when you go traveling, you're like, oh, okay, they're dealing with things we don't deal with over here in North America or in the UK, So there's my little whatever.
Well, so this isn't very one-sided with me just asking you questions. Do you have any questions for me?
I actually love being asked questions.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind at all. It's one of my pet peeves when I Zoom my parents, because no matter how old you are, you still want your parents' approval. And but they don't really ask me a lot of questions. And I'm such a child inside, and I want to tell them everything. And I'm very impatient. So sometimes I'd say to my mom, like, you and dad never ask me any questions. And she's like, because you answer them all. You just tell us everything. We don't have to ask you anything. So it's actually, I love being asked questions. So you can have that.
Okay. So I know you've got the Sky Bridge.
Yes.
And you've got the 878.
Yes.
What was one of the things that attracted you to doing the plug and play package? So
super easy answer. And you guys get major bonus points with this. Was when I heard that with the plug and play, you guys set it up for us. And that was huge to me. I mean, again, like some people write to me and they like, do you build ham radios? And no, I don't. And I know there are some people who think you're not a true ham radio if you're not building your equipment. But when there's companies like ICOM and BridgeCom systems that do so much to make the experience great, I have yet to cross that bridge. So I heard, okay, if you order the plug and play, we send you our call sign. And we can even send you our Wi-Fi and our password if we want to. And you will send us back a Skybridge and a radio that is programmed. That was huge for me. You know, I mean, it was huge.
If I remember correctly, there was one problem that we
Yes.
had to set up, and that was actually the Wi-Fi because it wasn't connecting.
I think, and wasn't there something, I thought it was something to do with my phone, because the other cool thing that a lot of people might not realize with these radios is you actually don't need Wi-Fi if you've got your phone. So like I've traveled to
Yes,
hotels and hooked the phone to the Skybridge hotspot and still been able to
yes,
use the radio. And that's a
um,
really cool feature.
yes. The biggest troubleshooting tip I can give anybody that is trying to set up their phone to act as a Wi-Fi hotspot would have to be turn off Wi-Fi, turn off hotspot, mobile hotspot, or personal hotspot, depending on what it's called on your device. Wait a few moments, and then turn Wi-Fi back on, and then turn the hotspot back on the phone, and then have your hotspot, your Pi-based device, whether it's a jumbo spot, a Zoom spot, a Skybridge, any one of those, have it search for the Wi-Fi on your phone, and then you can put in your password, hit connect, reboot your Pi device, and it should connect to your hotspot on your phone. And the cool thing with the Pi-based devices is whether you're running WPSD or Pi-Star, is if they don't connect to a network, they'll actually create their own Wi-Fi access point that you can log in with your phone or your computer. And then you can get to the setup menu to set up the Wi-Fi and have it search for the phone Wi-Fi.
I will say another cool thing, and I hope it's okay to say this, because it's half a plug for you and a plug for another company. So I hope this is okay. But the other nice thing with the hotspot is that you can use other radios. So let's say
Yes.
if you're getting a radio collection, which I have, then I also love this radio. Like this is the ICOM ID52, and that works with the hotspot as well, the Skybridge hotspot. So that's just a really useful thing to know.
Speaking of radio collection,
Yes. Ooh, is that the
PhD 74.
75? Okay. Okay. Have you tried or seen the 75?
I've seen the 75. Haven't got my hands on it. I know the 75 and the 74 both use the same battery, which is why nobody has the battery in stock right now. And I had to search the internet to find a place that carried the battery. Also, I've got our BridgeCom MERS radios, which you do not need a license for these.
Remind me what that MERS stands for again. Mobile.
It's multi-use radio service.
There you go. There you go. Look at we have Texas Dream in here, Jeffrey Paul. Everybody should know Jeffrey also drives a semi. He always comes into my TikTok lives. We have some regulars here, Steve Summersell, and these guys are the coolest. They've been with me from very early on TikTok with Glam Ham. And Jeffrey, whose handle on TikTok is Texas Dream, he even kind of helps out in the live. And when we do the contacts on the HF, Jeffrey calculates the mileage for me. So it's really a team effort over there. So I just want to say thanks to those guys for joining us over here on YouTube. It's really great to see them. Such a great community of people that we've never met yet. I feel they're my friends, you know. And a reminder to everyone else who hasn't been over to TikTok. to come and find me on TikTok, which is my main platform. And I go live there Sundays at 4 p.m. Pacific, unless there's some extenuating circumstance, like Dancing with the Stars or something like that would be obviously a conflict. So there you go.
Just a little
Thank
bit.
you. Thank you, BridgeCom. Yes. So, well, thank you for your, you did even say some terms there that I didn't know about the hotspot. When you're talking about Pi Star, you said something else and I was like, oh, I don't know what that is.
Well, Pi-Star is the operating system that the SkyBridge Plus shipped with, but the SkyBridge Max, which is our newer version of the SkyBridge, actually has WPSD on it.
Oh, that's the one that's the one I'm like, what's that?
Well, that also has a firmware update for the modem board, or the Pi Hat, as it's referred to by some people, as well as an update for the screen. So that's the operating system that's on the new SkyBridges. But we also have a way that you can update your SkyBridge Plus to the SkyBridge Max using the SkyBridge Maximizer upgrade. And because you have been so helpful and so kind, I would like to offer you a free upgrade on your SkyBridge.
Oh, well, thank you. I would love a free upgrade. Now, what will it do when I've got a free upgrade?
It will actually take and display a different screen for you on the web interface, the GUI web interface. It actually is different, and some of the cool things, the new interface actually lets you see the person's name, not just their call sign, and the name of the talk group you're on.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah, that is nice.
Bear with me 1 second here, and I will actually pull that up, and I will share that so you can actually see what it looks like. 192.168.1.179.
While you're doing that as well, one of the things I really like about the SkyBridge is seeing people's call signs, and I like to see the little flags from the countries, because that sort of stuff appeals to me, and that's a nice thing. That I know Jeffrey was saying that he has, I think, one of the open spots, but they don't have, there's a plus and minus, of course, but they don't have the screen on there, so that is a little plus for the SkyBridge.
You get the built-in battery with theirs, but you don't get the screen to show you what's going on, so you've got to rely just on your radio.
Are you guys like, just keeping it like super, what would we say, like even? One of the things that the SkyBridge doesn't do, right, but maybe you have it in the works, is the cross mode, or do you do the cross mode yet?
The SkyBridge actually does cross mode, so DMR to YSF.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And DMR to NXDN, which would be the Kenwood standard. And you also can do YSF to NXDN, YSF to DMR, and YSF to P25.
Okay. YSF to D star?
No. That is something that's still in the works.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm just reading.
Oops.
Let's
it moved up on me.
John.
Todd, I need to apologize. I am trying to undo that if you are still there.
Oh, Jeffrey has a nano spot as well. I haven't even heard of that one. No cross mode for D star. Okay. So
correct.
Am I allowed? Can I show this just to show them that it doesn't have what it looks like and it doesn't have the screen? Okay. So this, you'll see people talking about the open spot. So this is the open spot. So I just really want to say that there would be pluses and minuses of both. But if you're a visual person and you like the screen and you like to see that extra information of the person's call sign, and as Jeremiah says, the name populating the talk group, that's a nice feature of the SkyBridge. But if the cross mode thing is like the most important to you, then you may want to look at the other one too. However, having said that, I have a D-Star and I have talked with my Skybridge to the other different modes, DMR and YSF, because they had the open spot. So it worked out kind of nice because I had the benefit of the screen and they had the open spot. But to me, those are really the two contenders. So, but just so people know how they might make a decision on that,
Yes. One of the things with the Skybridge that you should have gotten in your package was the
Okay.
portable battery.
Yes, and that's fantastic. I love that it can just tether to my phone. I already took the Skybridge with me on travels, and I do like the screen because one of the things that's often hard to do is write down people's call signs. And if you don't hear them clearly for whatever reason, I love that the call sign shows up on the screen there. So when I've been in a hotel and I'm literally sat next to that Skybridge, it is really nice seeing the person's call sign scan across. So
Yes, it is. So I do have the WPSD dashboard ready to go here. So let me
exciting
pull that up
times.
so you can see what this looks like. Let's see here.
Oh, Tristian has a good question. Will the Skybridge work with DMR talk groups that aren't BridgeCom? I think it would, right? Because DMR is DMR, right?
This DMR is dependent on which network you set up. So on your Skybridge, it's pre-set up for Brandmeister network.
Ah, right.
Then we've got like TGIF network, which you can see I actually have mine configured for TGIF network as well as Brandmeister. And you can set up other modes by going to admin. Let me go to admin, then configuration, and then scroll down to DMR configuration. And this is where you can put in DMR plus, free DMR, HB link, or a custom master to set this up.
Oh, wow. So for Tristian's question, basically they would find the type of DMR in that list there by the looks of it, because it seems it would have thousands of options pretty much in there.
Right. System X is another network that can be set up, and TGIF, XLX network, and then here's your general DMR settings where you can actually change the color code. So let's say that you've got somebody else who's got a Skybridge and you guys are having issues where your Skybridge isn't picking you up. What you can do is actually change the color code on the Skybridge and reset your code plug to use that color code. And you'll be able to basically filter out the other person.
Oh. Why would you want to filter them out? What am I missing?
If there's an issue where it's not, there's collisions in the signals and it's causing an issue where your Skybridge gets overloaded because they're on color code 1 and you're on color code 1 at the same time as them, and you guys are too close to each other.
Oh, okay.
In the event that there are issues, you can change your color code instead of the frequency to help filter it out.
I see. That is a new thing, a new concept for me. I'm a point and shoot person, PTT, and get on with chit chatting. The least I can go into these settings, the better, is my personal take on. So I like that it was simple and that you helped me get set up, and I like that the products come with a course. I don't know if people know that, but when you buy anything from BridgeCom, you get a nice course for free that teaches you the stuff that Jeremiah is doing, so that then you can be like me and do the course and then forget it and just use the radio, which I'm going to be honest is what I do.
Yes. So we are in the process of actually updating the courses. So there are some new videos for the Anytone 878 course.
Okay.
as well as I'm going to be making videos for the Skybridge Max course and new videos for the 578 course.
Do I do we need to update these R878 UV2 Plus? Do we need to update firmware on them or anything now? Or is it just that you have a whole new radio out?
We do not have a new radio yet. I know that Anytone is working on a new radio, but there have been supply chain issues that it's gotten pushed back, and we don't have a time of when that's going to be released. So right now, we're doing everything we can to make sure people are supported with the 878s. And when we do get the new radio, whenever Anytone does give us the okay, we are going to launch this radio, we will make sure that we are prepared to help people get set up on that. Now, for yours, if you go to menu, then settings and device info, that'll tell us what firmware version you're on. I believe it's 3.02.
Well, isn't this exciting? Let's do this now. Okay. Look at this nice logo that comes up. I love me a color screen on a radio. Okay, so you said, right. So I'm going to follow your instructions. Menu.
Then settings.
Okie doke. Let me wiggle down to settings. Okay.
And then device info.
Okay. Righty.
And if you scroll down to where it says firmware, that will be like 3.02 or...
Yes. It's 3.02N. Here's the...
Okay.
Da-da.
So that is a very stable version of the firmware.
Okay.
They did just release 3.03, but to update the 3.03, you actually have to save your code plug file off the radio, then do the firmware update process on the radio and the MCU reset, and then reload the code plug file back onto the radio.
This is very unappealing to Glamham. Anything with more than one instruction. I'm like...
Well, don't worry. If you decide you want to do the 3.03 update, just let me know and we'll get a time set up on the calendar so we can get that done.
I mean, I'm sure you said you're going to release videos out and stuff. You're probably going to have videos on how to do that, I would think.
Yes, there actually are videos. They're just a little dated right now.
Okay.
That do show the process.
A quick question on this radio. What is the little red microphone volume looking thing up there? I can't remember.
That one is the digital monitor.
And I can't remember. Do I want that on or off?
Well, it depends. Are you wanting to listen to both time slots on a local repeater that is a DMR repeater? Or are you just wanting to listen to the time slot that your channel is programmed for?
Probably one is enough, I think. Whatever's the simplest and most foolproof tactic.
So it would be menu, settings. I want to say it's other functions. Well, let me grab an 878 here.
Here's the options.
Radio set.
Okay.
And I'm grabbing one of the 878s here too. Go to other function.
Nice. Okay. Very nice menus, I have to say. Very nice bright screen. Okay.
All right. And if you scroll down, you should see something that says digital monitor or Digimon.
Bum, bum, bum. Oh, I love that there's something that says man down.
Yes, that is if the radio is knocked over for a certain amount of time. It will actually do an alert. It'll start alarming.
Is a very dramatic way to title the menu that you knocked your radio over. Man down. Can I just say, I thought it would be much more than you just knocked your radio over. I'm like, if someone goes over a ship, this is what you need. All right.
Well, basically, it was designed for the sensor in the radio that, let's say you're in public safety and you guys are still on analog and you're using 878 for public safety.
Okay.
It's for first responders.
Got
So
it. Okay.
if
Chris is onto
right.
it.
I will say
Go ahead.
a lot of people do not use man down because it will alarm at random sometimes.
Okay.
So I would leave that off. Let's see, other function, and then Digimon.
I don't see Digimon in my other functions.
Yep,
I've
I'm looking
seen
for
it
it right
on the-
now.
I've seen it on the radio, so I remember seeing Digimon.
They
Thank
may
you,
have moved it on me.
Chris has given us the inside scoop. So then it is, I take it back. It is an appropriate name for Man Down.
Yes.
Isaac is confirming this. As a former stand-up comic, I have to go another direction when I see a menu with Man Down. Oh, Derek
Yes.
says Digimon is under main menu. Okay.
Yep, it's under GPS.
Okay.
I should have remembered that. I'm
That's
sorry,
all
I've
right.
only had 1 cup of coffee today, guys.
Oh. There it is. I gotcha. For everyone, that's what it looks like. So it is literally under okay, so Digimon, right? Here we're here now.
All right. And should be Digimon switch,
Okay.
and just switch it to off.
Okay. Great.
And that should get rid of the red icon next to your antenna, your power indicator.
It has indeed. Check it out. No more sneaky little red thing that looks like something's wrong. I'm at peace with the radio now. Thank you, Jeremiah.
You're welcome. And thank you to Derek for pointing out it was on the main menu. I was thinking it was buried in the menus. I didn't think for some reason that it was going to be that easy to find it.
I'm curious how many people have this radio that are in our chat now, and what talk groups they like to go on. You know, what are the secret insider talk groups that are cool?
So, guys, if you want to take and post it in the chat what your favorite talk group is on DMR.
I'll start. Mine is 91. Just because I like hearing the accents.
Yes.
91. Tracy says 91 as well. I'm with you. And I'm sure probably most people know this, but just in case there are people in the chat who are like, I don't really know what this is, and I don't really know what DMR is. If you go to the website, hoseline.brandmeister.network, you can listen to people who are using the radios. You can't transmit back, but you can listen, and you can actually click on the different talk groups. You'll see a flag. So if you want a Swedish one, click on a Swedish flag. And I think that's a pretty neat thing for people who don't yet perhaps have a radio, or maybe they're not a licensed ham yet, but they wonder the kinds of things hams talk about. Is you can actually just go to a web browser and listen to hams talking on DMR. So it's I wish I could type it, but it won't let me. So I'm going to ask Jeremy.
I'm working on it.
Okay. So it's hoseline.brandmeister.network. And here's my hot tip. If you listen on your phone, even if you have the volume up, make sure that your phone is not switched to silent. Sometimes you won't hear audio. You have to make sure that your phone is switched to be able to not be on silent mode. So let's have a look. 3118, Indiana.
Little fun fact, many, many moons ago when I lived in Indiana, I was actually a net control operator for the Indiana statewide DMR net.
That is very cool. So I guess I'll ask a DMR newbie question. Is that when you've been in a talk group, do you always have to go to the disconnect, right? After you've been in a talk group, or can you just switch to another one? I think you have to.
Always do the disconnect.
Okay, because I've been doing that.
If it's a group call talk group, if it's a
Okay.
private talk group like Parrot, you don't have to do the disconnect on it.
Okay, great. Here's a random question for you that'll be good for BridgeCom systems. One of the questions that I get asked a lot over on TikTok is, hey, I have nieces 200 miles away. I want an emergency radio that can talk 200 miles away. And as many people who are hams know, that's a funky distance, because if you're on UHF, VHF, you're generally going to be citywide, or maybe like 40, 50 miles away. And if you're on HF, you're going to be hundreds or thousands of miles away. So what radios, even if they're not, probably not ham radios, I mean, I haven't gotten into GMRS yet. Do you guys have any radios that would be suitable for that sort of thing? Or basically, is it back to somebody looking for ham radio and just figuring out the right frequency that'll get them a couple hundred miles away,
So real quick, evidently Brandmeister changed it. It's just hose.brandmeister.network now.
Okay, great. Thanks.
But it is called hose line.
Okay.
As far as radios that you can take and talk hundreds of miles with, unless there is a linked repeater network of repeaters that are linked via the internet, it would probably be HF would be the way to go. So you can't go wrong with getting your general class license, and lower frequencies would definitely be the ones that you use for shorter communication distances.
What would be your first band you would try if you were trying to hit 200 miles away?
I would say probably 80 meters.
Okay.
Next, I would go 40 meters. If it depends on daytime too, because 40 and 80 open at night, whereas 20 meters is open usually, not always, but usually throughout the day and night. And then 12 and 10 is daytime, and 18 or excuse me, 17 meters and I'm trying to remember, it's 24 megahertz. Those are usually more like late in the day bands as you're heading towards nighttime.
I love that everybody's adding information. Thank you, Daniel and Dion and John and Mark and Brian and Derek. It's really good just to see those numbers. They're seconding what you're saying, 40. Somebody, Dion says 160. Now, you'd have to be almost in the dead of night for 160. Is that correct?
Yes. At least my experience with 160 megahertz. Then again, I'm still adding ferrite chokes to my coax cable to try and get the noise out. I mean, that can be a big thing with the lower band or lower frequencies is the noise during nighttime. If you're near power lines and they have a bad insulator on them, it can cause noise. And also the band conditions.
I can see quite a few people suggesting the linked repeaters. And I guess the only thing there is whether, if let's say there was the power down, would those repeaters still work if the power was down? Like, do you think most repeaters have backup generators or solar or something like that?
Well, I know a lot of cell phone sites have backup power supplies to keep the cell phones on, but again, if it's a natural disaster, it's not going to be a guarantee. And if they're relying on internet linking through the cell phone sites and those go down, then it becomes a standalone repeater. But as America's First Responders Network commented, that one, most repeaters do have a backup power supply. I know with the repeaters we sell, you can actually hook a battery power supply to the repeater
Wow.
to run it as a backup in case the AC power fails.
Wow.
Some repeater owners actually use solar panels and a solar battery wall in their repeater shacks to power their repeaters. So that's something that I've seen done. Not
So
noise filtering for that, but
this
link.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Linked repeaters. There's a lot of variables, but like the Papa system in California, that is a massive linked repeater system, and they, as far as I know, have battery backups on their repeaters to keep everything operational. And it's not like this repeater here is in between this repeater and this repeater, and if this repeater goes down, the other two can't talk. It's a network, so there's always redundancy.
Okay. Okay. As Doug says, Starlink can even go down. I forgot that you guys sell repeaters, which is pretty cool. So here's what could be a silly question. So let's say
Mhm.
I buy a repeater and I put it at my home, but I already have a 50-watt radio and a 100-watt radio. I'm assuming it's completely redundant that I would then buy a repeater. I would only buy a repeater if I'm going to go put it like 3 miles away or something on a high place, right? Or is there an advantage to having a repeater at home?
Well, one thing that you can do is, let's say you actually live in an apartment building and the building owner is really cool, and will let you put an antenna up on the roof. You could actually get a repeater, set it up, run the feed line down, and then run a link controller to the repeater to link it to another repeater owner's repeater and create a network of the repeaters. The other thing is you could, in our case, take a BC40 DU, connect it to an MMDVM board, and turn it into a DMR repeater and have that link. So not only do you have your own repeater to get on Brandmeister with at that point, or whichever network you configure it for, you also have something that your friends can get on as well. And um, in some areas, there aren't a lot of DMR repeaters. So it really depends where you're at. If you want to put a repeater up, it is an investment. It does require upkeep.
Upkeep? Upkeep? What do you mean
Yes.
upkeep? What do you have to do? Upkeep.
Basically, once in a while, you've got to check the antenna. You got to check the feed line, make sure it's not cracking from sun exposure. Get a good quality feed line in the beginning, and you can negate that for a while.
Okay.
And make sure that you're checking the SWR on the repeater or standing wave ratio on the repeater during transmit to make sure that everything's good, and just keeping it healthy.
I have my next repeater question. Will the
Okay.
repeater, how many watts? I mean, if I'm on a 5-watt radio connecting to it, how many watts is then the repeater putting out?
Depends on which model. If it's a VHF, a lot of VHF repeaters are 50 watts, and UHF is usually around 40 to 45 watts.
Okay.
Now, that being said, we do have power amplifiers that can be connected to these repeaters, because there is a legal limit that is much greater than 50 watts for a repeater. So you can get 200, 300, 400 watt or higher amplifiers to pair with the repeater. You lower the output on the repeater to match that, and you're able to have a larger range with that repeater, as long as you've got the elevation for the handhelds or mobiles to make it into the repeater.
Got it.
It does also depend on what kind of license you apply for the repeater, because there is frequency coordination that needs to be done. But
Right.
we've actually simplified that now, because we can actually get people that are wanting a repeater set up with the frequency coordinator to get their frequency pairs for the repeater.
That's why you guys are awesome. Because you do
And
so much to help people who might be overwhelmed with such a task.
and extra bonus, we are actually running a repeater sale right now.
Oh, and I swear I did not know this. I don't even know how much a repeater costs. Like, I have no idea. If it's hundreds or thousands of dollars, I have no idea how much repeaters cost.
Depending on the repeater, it can run from $1,400 up to $2,600.
I see. Okay. I have a new question.
Okay.
This might be an instant no, but I know people have asked me this. When you have handhelds like this, can you put little amplifiers and jerry rig them up that you could turn this into like a 20-watt radio or even a 50-watt radio?
There are some amplifiers on the market that work with the handhelds. I don't remember the specific manufacturer that makes it, but there is one that it can be used for DMR radios. But you've got to make sure you've got the right amplifier for the right mode.
Okay.
So it's either analog mode or digital mode.
That is pretty cool, I have to say, that you could turn this into a higher power radio.
The one thing that'll definitely help is getting a better quality antenna than just the stock rubber ducky.
Okay.
It's still a good antenna, but the Nagoya NA771 does have better gain.
Do you mean this antenna?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a
I
good
actually
antenna.
have that on my other radio.
Yeah, this is a good antenna. It is worth the $20. Link in bio. Cool. Very cool. Well, that is something when people ask me about, oh, would I want to build a radio or whatever? That doesn't appeal to me as much as trying to figure out how to turn this into a higher power radio. That's worth for me tinkering with, getting the little amplifier and trying it with any of my little handhelds. I've seen people do it with the ICOM radio, but I haven't seen someone do it with this.
You will want to use an external antenna instead of the rubber duck style antennas.
Yep.
You'll want to use like a mag mount antenna.
Perfect. Got it.
Or even a perfectly trimmed dipole for 2 meter and 440.
Okay.
Also, as some people are starting to throw into the chat, there are antennas called signal sticks.
I've got one of those too.
Yeah, I was going to get one at Dayton, which you need to go to Dayton.
I did
go
to
to Hamvention.
I did in 2022, and everyone got sick there. It was like a super spreader.
Oh,
Everybody
no.
left sick, including me. But I did go, and it was fun.
Well, I'm all things willing, I will be there this year.
Okay.
So
when is it this year? What month is it?
It's May 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Okay. It's actually possible I might be able to do that.
Well, we would love to meet you in person and have you swing by the booth when you're not taking video of the event.
That would be very exciting. I have the signal stuff. I don't know if it's anywhere in the vicinity because I'm swamped. What you guys don't see over here is like so many more radios. Like I've got music equipment and just so many radios. It's ridiculous. But I have the fluorescent signal stick. That was I got from
Yes.
Hamvention.
I tried to get the blue one, but they sold out of the blue ones before I could get it. And I was
Okay.
like, oh man.
Okay.
So I know there are some people that are waiting for the drawing.
Oh, right, go for it.
So let me take and see what we have got for the drawing.
So Daniel, he was referring to a different one. I think Hamcation is different from Hamvention. So Jeremiah was
Hamcations are in
talking.
Orlando.
The Hamvention is the one that is in, well, it was Dayton, Ohio, and now it's Xenia, Ohio. But everybody still says, are you going to Dayton? And we all say yes, even though we're not. We're going to a different city, but it's just in everybody's subconscious that it's Dayton. But it was really awesome. The other cool thing for anyone going out there is they have the Voice of America Museum, and it's about a half an hour drive away. And if you go to that Hamvention, it's so worth going for a deviation to the Voice of America Museum. It is very cool just seeing all this history of radios, and you get to see, I mean, just incredible diagrams of antenna setups. That's probably the geekiest thing I've ever said in my entire life. Sometimes I have to check myself and think, who are you now that I was talking about a diagram of an antenna? Nobody say that I said that. Don't tell anyone I know that I just said that.
It's a secret.
But they literally do have like a little model of how they used to have their antennas, and it's really cool. Okay, go ahead, Jeremiah. This is your show.
Well, you're the guest. You can talk about whatever you want. So, I know for me, besides ham radio, I get into computers. The computer that I'm using right now, I actually built.
Oh, wow.
So,
nice.
Yes, it does have RGB in it.
Wow.
The RGB lighting was on sale, so it was cheaper than the regular non-light up fans. So I couldn't beat it.
What are you giving away in this drawing?
We are actually going to be giving one lucky person the chance to pick from the prize wall. And if they choose mystery prize, I have a picker wheel that we will click spin on, and whatever it lands on is what they get.
I want to see all this fun, and I want to see someone win a fabulous prize.
All right. Awesome. So, whoops. Let me...
I'll even do you a fancy intro. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremiah W9JAM is about to start the drawing. Get your headphones on and your volume up. Take it away, Jeremiah.
That was a really good intro. So our winner for this drawing is actually from Alaska. Do we have November 8 Echo X-Ray still in the room? Jeffrey Wolf, are you still here?
Thank you, Brian.
Let's see. It takes a minute for the comments to cycle, so we'll see if he's here. And if he is not still here, we will repick. All right. I don't see him responding yet.
Oh,
yep.
Isn't it?
There he is.
There he is.
All right. So let me go ahead and see if I can get the image pulled up here for the prize wall.
I feel tremendously excited to see what Jeff is going to win. Even though I'm not winning anything, I'm excited that a prize is being given away.
Yes. Well, you did win something tonight.
I'm going to get an upgrade on my Sky.
Yes, you are. And as the added bonus, if we can set up a meeting time, I will get you on the 3.03 firmware.
Oh, perfect. That's lovely.
All right.
I'm a winner. Me and Jeff so far. Who's in? Congratulations, Jeff. And the winner is Jeff Wolf.
All right, and share screen, and here is the prize wall.
Whoa.
So you've got the mystery prize.
On.
Actually, we do not have the FRS 4-pack buddy radios anymore. So scratch that one. We have the GMRS or the MERS radios. That's what took the place of these.
Pick this, Jeff. Pick this. That's on the prize wall. Pick this. I didn't. Was I off mute there? Sorry.
Let's see. The 1 hour advanced tech call, which, depending on which radio you've got, I've got experience with TYT radios as well as Anytone radios. So I can help with the MD380, UV380, and UV390 series radios to get them programmed to work with a SkyBridge.
This is the 1 hour tech call, also known as Harass Jeremiah for 60 full minutes.
The handheld accessory bundle for the 878. If you already have the 578, you can get the BTO1 Bluetooth wireless microphone. You could even win a Anytone 878. If you're interested in a repeater, we can take and set up a consultation with you and your club about a repeater and site linking, as well as you would get a BridgeCom t-shirt and sweatshirt. Also, if you already have a SkyBridge and you want to get the upgrade, you could do the plug and play maximizer to upgrade it to the latest operating system and firmware. Also, the Echo GMRS radio bundle, a 1-year BridgeCom Plus membership extension, and then the tri-band antenna and trunklet mount for the 578.
Jeremiah, on behalf of Jeff, are you able to scroll your screen so that we can see all of the prizes? Because
I'll do you one better here.
I mean, this is a big decision. Oh, Jeff already has an 878. Jeff, do you have the SkyBridge? And is the SkyBridge one of those? I already forgotten. I'm so fascinated.
Nope, the SkyBridge is not.
Okay, forget that. What about the mystery prize? What might it be? What's the worst and best that it could be? Like, could it be just a USB-C cable? Tell us now, Jeremiah.
The best it could be is another 878 or a $100 I believe it's either $100 or $150 gift card for BridgeCom systems.
Okay. What might it be? Not to say the word worse, but let's say a more modest gift.
Let's see. 878 accessory bundle.
I'd get this. I mean, come on. You can get a juicy, tasty radio like this. Sorry, am I off mute again?
Nope, you are perfectly fine. All right. Jeff, it looks like you said you can always use another 878. So if you can, Jeff, I will take and get you an email, and I just need your shipping information, and I can get that order placed tonight and get that radio on its way, because we do have those in stock, as well as the SkyBridges and the 578s. So
Jeff won this beautiful radio, courtesy of BridgeCom Systems and Jeremiah. Back to you. I think I should be here always, just introing you.
That would actually be fun. So
congratulations, Jeff. That's really a nice win. That's a tasty radio.
Yes.
Definitely get your hotspot next. Get a hotspot, because then you can really, like, for me, the hotspot is what makes this, because then I can travel to hotels and just take the hotspot, and I'm up and running straight away. It's awesome.
Yes. One other thing, Natalie, I'm trying to remember, but do you already have a BridgeCom Plus membership?
No.
You want one?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I got a prize. Me and Jeff. High five, everybody. I got BridgeCom Plus. This gives me more access to you and everyone else, right? All the tech support and more knowledge for me.
Yes, because you can go through the training videos. We even have training videos on the repeaters.
Wow. Wow. No, I love it. I mean it, credit where credit's due. What you guys are doing is fantastic. Just the fact you have humans who actively engage with humans who are buying your products and you guide them and make sure they have a good experience. It's it's a really good thing and it's a rare thing, and I just want to tip my hat to you guys. I think it's a pretty rare thing these days to be able to buy stuff from companies that really support you pretty much for the life that you own the product. You can always call that number and harass someone like Jeremiah.
Well, one thing about the advanced tech calls, there is a warranty period on the radios.
Okay.
If you're needing some help with just getting the firmware updated, something like that, outside of warranty, I'll be glad to help you with that. But if you're needing to rewrite a whole code plug, like combine code plugs, like your local code plug and your ultra code plug or super code plug, that does fall under an advanced tech call.
Got it.
So just because it's so labor intensive to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Harassment costs. What can I say?
So,
thank you, Channel Master Jeffrey.
But yeah, I do have a friend who actually would like to say something. So he has also been my co-host the last several weeks on BridgeCom Plus Live. So here is Andy, KC9SKV.
Hello, hello.
I mean, come on. Andy, also known as Ham Radio's Howard Stern.
Ham Radio's Howard Stern.
I feel like we should just bust out into a show. So, Andy, I mean, the show last night, because there's always a crazy sidekick, right? With somebody.
There's always a crazy sidekick. Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
I could be the crazy sidekick.
That's fine. We're fine with that. We'd love to have you come join us on BCU Live.
I have the radio. I can totally be crazy. I can be
yes, absolutely. We would love to have you be a part of BCU Live.
That would be awesome.
That would be great.
Oh, Steve's asking, can I answer a quick question from the chat?
Yeah.
So Steve says, what's the story on my call sign? I chose the call sign as soon as I got extra. Hot tip, if you want to upgrade your call sign, go to radioqth.net and it tells you what call signs are coming available. And that's what I did. And the reason I got the short one is because I do want to learn CW. I want to be a Morse coder. I know my alphabet. I've been doing some apps and little practice things, but that is why I did November Whiskey 6 Sierra, to have a nice short call for CW. So there you go, Steve. Thanks for the question. Back to Andy.
I'm here.
Take it away. Take it away, Andy.
No, I'm just happy to be a part of this. Long time follower, and I watch you all the time, and it's been a great pleasure to have you a part of this. And I'm hoping that you can join us a couple times on BCU Live. And I'm just so happy to see as many people watching as we have, and people actually interacting here. So this is fantastic. You need to come around a lot more. We'd love to have you.
Thank you. I didn't even know that you were that you watched my show on TikTok. So
of course I do. I actually sent you a couple messages. That way we can try and connect, and I can help you out with what we were working on earlier.
Perfect. This is perfect. Oh, well,
yes, absolutely.
Like to be part of the what do you call the unofficial team? I'm very happy. You guys are
absolutely
good people. Andy's got the good voice, as Dave says. You hear a voice like that, you go with it. That guy's going places, and if I need to ride a few coattails of a voice like that, hey, so be it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I see Dave Zappa over here saying, "Great radio voice, thank you." And got Jim over there. I have an AI generated backpack.
What?
Well, so not me personally. It's a picture. And it is insane, to say the least. And in fact, actually, I actually might be able to bring it up here as my background. There we go. So this is the AI generated backpack.
Oh my God. Good God.
Yes. This he has lots and lots and lots of videos.
I'm just curious because I hear a lot about AI in my job in Hollywood. AI is the big talk of the town, literally right now. Which software or which AI did you use, like Midjourney, or how did you generate? Did you use DALL-E? What did you
I
use?
have a super secret one that I won't divulge for images, but for other AI stuff, I'm using general Chat GPT, either 3 or 4, and Bard, BARD. Bard's actually a lot of fun.
Okay, we'll check those out.
Yeah.
I think a lot of actors, I mean, it's going to change Hollywood drastically. Did you guys all see the Sora demo that came out a few days ago?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's OpenAI Sora, Sora, and if you look that up, I think that really got a lot of Hollywood people very, very nervous. And there's a big article in Vanity Fair of Tyler Perry, who literally put a $800 million studio expansion on hold when he saw what Sora can do. He's like, well, I don't need to build sets anymore. This Sora can do it, So it's scary times in Hollywood. So
I've made my note over here on the other screen here so I can start looking into that one.
Pray for the humans. Pray for the human race.
Absolutely.
In honor of Jeffrey Wolf winning, I do have this for him.
Oh. Very nice. I think, do you have some other sounds? I feel you should throw out some random sounds and we dedicate them to people in the chat. I want to hear a sound.
We both do.
Well,
we both do.
For the chat question, it brings everything to a screeching halt.
That was like a tiny bit of an anticlimax, if I can just call it.
Yeah.
A question that brings everything to a screeching halt. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit there.
Eric's asking for a sound. Come on, Andy, throw Eric a sound.
Oh, interesting. All right. Well, the headphone users, be warned, it's a little loud, but it's not terribly loud. So here's the one that I like.
That's good. That's a more of a get the party started, Jeremiah.
Yes, absolutely.
Take a page out of Andy's book there.
And then when it's too quiet.
Perfect. Jeremiah, I
don't have all my buttons set up.
Nobody's looking for a small dachshund doing a singular bark.
Slow clap. You have to have a slow clap.
Okay.
Which normally happens after one of my jokes.
I'm preempting your joke with the slow clap. Okay. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's called Riz.
Oh, that sounds like it shouldn't have ended. Like this is where we.
I know. I mean,
talk love. Oh yeah. BridgeCom Systems Live, going dark.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is BridgeCom Systems Live, going dark.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Andy. KC9 taking us down.
Down.
I don't know what's happening here, but something is contagious, and Jeremiah is looking concerned.
Daniel's asking for a round of applause, so
let's see. I think I've got that one too.
This is for Jeremiah. This is for that one joke that he did that
and of
other
course,
time.
We've got a cheer.
I'm not sure what this one is. It says nostalgia. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's so CQ. CQ.
Very good. Whimper instead- Going out
Like
with a
this.
whimper instead of a howl is what Dave Zappa said there. That's great.
Well, I
I
feel
don't
we
have all
should
my
end.
buttons set up like Andy does.
Yeah, I've got
Wrap on.
a stream deck sitting over here, and I've got like 10 pages of nothing but interesting things.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'd like a stream deck. It sounds cool.
stream decks are great. No,
Can you-
shameless plug.
Can you stream from a stream deck to TikTok and YouTube at the same time?
So what a stream deck is, it's basically macros. So you have buttons and pages and knobs, and you can actually set up buttons on your stream deck to automatically go to different applications. You can actually set up a button to automatically start a live stream for you.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
The thing I'd like to do, in case you know the answer, is stream to TikTok and YouTube simultaneously.
So TikTok's a little weird with streaming. They like you to do it individually from their application. But for example, with what we're using tonight, StreamYard, you can actually stream to multiple platforms at the same time, like I'm currently actually doing myself. Just clone the stream. That way we can reach a farther audience.
I'm taking a picture of the chat of American first responders comment because they're telling a little hot tip.
Yes. Black Magic is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic with their stuff. Their ATEM Mini, I use those constantly in the production industry, and using a HDMI or better capture card is a way that you can start doing things a little cooler.
Andy, I have to ask, do you have an audio podcast?
I don't. I did back in the day, and I probably, from the way I get, the reactions that I get, it sounds like I need to.
I think the voice. I had a podcast, and then that's the graphic for it. There, it's the Gray Escape with Natalie Gray. But I stopped doing it. But it's still, the episodes are all archived there if anyone's interested. I'm just doing TikTok now, but with your voice, I do encourage you to do some podcasting.
Okay, absolutely. I can definitely look into that. And if you ever get back into podcasts, I'd love to be a part of that.
Oh, yeah. And if you have podcast questions, I can answer questions maybe
awesome.
for like and stuff. So,
okay.
Well, I might sign out because I feel I've seen a few 7.3s and I don't want to. Do you normally wrap around now?
Actually, we normally wrap about 20 minutes earlier. So
okay.
Yeah.
So we should wrap so people can leave.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, they
got to keep the show going all night.
I feel we're kidnapping people right now in this chat.
It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, they don't need to go hop on 80 meters right now. They can wait a little while.
Yeah.
Don't forget to come and find me on TikTok as well, everybody. Glam Ham Radio on TikTok. I expect to see you all there.
Make sure you look for my message, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely didn't know that was you.
Yeah, so my username on there is not what you would expect it to be, but
you Kitty 99?
No, that's not me.
Oh man.
My profile picture is a little bit of a satire of a bottle of engine oil. It's Mobile Pumpkin Spice.
That was my second guess.
Yeah, that's me.
But I'm the one that lives up by Maine.
This is true.
Well, I thank you guys so much for having me and
Thank
be a
you
guest on your
for
show.
being here.
Thank you everyone with the great comments and for participating. I love that. You know, it's just been fun talking back and fro with people in the live. So I love it.
Well,
So
we definitely appreciate you being here and taking the time out of your schedule to be here and to join us. Let us learn a little bit more about you and the stuff that you've done, as well as what got you into ham radio and how far your journey has taken you so far with it. So thank you again for being here. We greatly appreciate it.
pleasure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we expect to have you, when you have some free time, come jump in BCU Live with us.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm happy to come and join as long as I can really not behave myself.
Oh yeah, it's a little more lax.
Well, thank you. And so basically to end, I can leave the studio. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to leave the studio. So cheers, everyone. I hope to see you all soon. Glam Ham Radio. Don't forget to please follow my music one on TikTok because I want to go live with music and play songs for people. But I need 1,000 followers of the music. So that's Blue Brio.
Let me copy that real quick and put it back in the chat.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Jeffrey, it was great to see you. Really great to see you. And Steve, I recognize some of the names over here. There's probably other people whose names I didn't recognize the handles. But yeah, so thank you for all. And I hope to see you guys soon. And thanks for my goodies.
Well, you are quite welcome. I will send you an email with a RMA to get your Skybridge sent in so we can get it updated. And you won't need to do anything with the radio. The code plug will still work the same. And then we can schedule a time later to do the software on the radio.
Fantastic, Jeremiah and BridgeCom. All right. This is November Whiskey 6 Sierra saying 7-3.
73.
All right. Well, that's going to be a wrap for us tonight. So thank you, everybody who is here tonight. We greatly appreciate you joining us. Yep. And from all of us at BridgeCom Systems, have a safe and fun weekend. And 73s from Jeremiah, W9JAM, and
Andy, KC9SKV, 73, everyone.
73s.